Hello there once again, and to those of you who are new, I am Joby Wan, and thank you for joining me. Oh, this was a stressful one this week, and we're about to get into it right now.
83. Fact machine.
First off, I just want to thank everyone who joined me for my live stream this weekend during the Bears and Raiders game. You may or may not know that this is a small YouTube channel that I just started over the summer, and this was my most watched stream so far. It was very exciting to watch this game go down to the wire while watching viewers start to pile in while the game was getting very tense. Again, thank you for those of you who joined me, and I hope to see you again, as well as many more of you for the games to come. The Bears are on bye this week, but I do plan to live stream at least one game. However, there is a bunch of shit on this weekend, so with slim pickings to choose from, I have yet to decide which game I want to bring my particular brand of commentary to this weekend. Keep an eye on the channel for scheduled live streams. This one was not a pretty one, that's for sure. Bears offense was absolutely stagnating throughout the first half, only being able to muster a trio of field goals. Max Crosby was absolutely dominating the Bears offensive line, which was short its starting right tackle in Darnell Wright this week, who did not dress for this game. The undrafted free agent Theo Beneday made a start in his stead, and was absolutely getting destroyed by Max Crosby, highlighted by a play in which Crosby tipped the ball up to himself and then intercepted the ball. This would be Crosby's first career interception. As bad as things were going for the Bears offense during the first half, the Bears defense managed to keep them in this game, with a total of 4 takeaways, with 2 picks by Kevin Byard bringing his total to 3 on the season, and a couple more heads-up plays by Tyreek Stevenson, with an interception and a fumble recovery to build on his solid play last week as well. Towards the end of the first half, the Bears would make a change at tackle, benching Braxton Jones, moving Theo Beneday over to the left side, and bringing Ozzie Trapillo in to play at the right side. This move would bear fruit, as Max Crosby would be nowhere near as dominant in the second half as he was in the first. The Bears offense showed improvement in the second half, able to finally drive down the field and score a pair of touchdowns, with Caleb firing a laser to Rome Odunze in the third quarter, and the run game finally pushing through to get DeAndre Swift into the end zone in the fourth quarter. And if we're giving out any game balls on this team, I believe the special teams unit as a whole deserves highlighting. With 4 field goals by Cairo Santos, Torrey Taylor laying a punt right on the 2-yard line, which would then be backed up to the 1 on a penalty, and a game-winning field goal block to close this one out. While it certainly was not a pretty win, Coach Johnson has to be thrilled with his team's tenacity and the ability to gut this one out on the road. And on a side note, Coach Johnson is a bit of a maniac, and I'm totally okay with that. He took a bit of flack after the game for his interaction with a sideline reporter, and I totally get it. It was not the best look in the world. But from his perspective, this man is focused on football, and he's thinking about going out there and winning the game and not answering questions from sideline reporters. So in my opinion, he gets a pass. He did apologize for it after the fact, so I would hope everybody can get off his back about this one.
You need to change what you're doing.
I don't know, you think so? We're going to be just fine.
And also, I don't know what the heck this was and when this was happening on the sideline, but as long as it doesn't devolve into this, we'll be alright. And again, with the Bears being on bye this week, there's not going to be a ton to talk about, but I plan to bring you a video just going over the first quarter of the season, as Lovie Smith would call it, even though the season does not break down into quarters anymore, and look at how this team has evolved over the first month of the 2025 season. Anyways, with all of that out of the way, we have the power rankings for week 5. As has been customary for the last couple of weeks, I like to let you know when somebody drops off of the list. The first team dropping off the list this week would be the Washington football team. The Washington Commies. The Washington Commanders. This team needs Jaden Daniel and Terry McLaurin back. They may get Jaden back this week. And they also dropped a couple of spots because we needed to make room for some teams who are rising fast. The other team that dropped off this list was the Baltimore Ravens. Starting your season 1-3, being absolutely decimated by injury, Lamar is out for 1 to 3 weeks according to the latest reports, and as of this moment, 7 of the 11 defensive starters are not available to this team. I think in the Ravens' current state, it is safe to say that they are not going to be a force to be reckoned with. However, if Lamar does get healthy soon, it would appear that he would be coming back just in time to play against our Chicago Bears. At number 10, we have a new squad to the list this week, and that would be the Seattle Seahawks. Sam Darnold is out here reasserting himself with a new team this year, showing us that his 2024 season with the Minnesota Vikings was not indeed an aberration, and doing it with a lesser talented receiving core. However, I still fear that when the lights are brightest and the moments are biggest, Darnold will turn back into a pumpkin. At number 9, dropping 2 spots this week, we have the Indianapolis Colts. Indiana Jones came back down to earth a little bit this week. Nothing to be ashamed of, as they did come up against a very solid squad that will also be making its first appearance on this list. At number 8, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It did hang in there with the Eagles, but they ultimately lost, and we had to drop them down because of some other better performances this week. But I still love the Bake Show. At number 7, we have the Los Angeles Chargers, also dropping 2 spots this week. Losing to the New York Giants, with a rookie quarterback making his first start, is not exactly the best look in the world. And with the injuries starting to pile up on this offensive line, the Charger stock is falling fast.
The Levi's and the Nike and the Dickie makes a flat khaki, so happy wife, happy life.
At number 6 and dropping 3 spots this week, we have the Green Bay Packers. Jordan Love's decision making in the biggest moments at the end of games has left a lot to be desired in the last 2 weeks. And someone remind me, didn't the Packers trade for Micah Parsons? At number 5, we have the Kansas City Chiefs. Give Patrick Mahomes one of his weapons back and the offense starts working again. Go figure. At number 4, we have another new team on the list. Now, I don't know if it's because they're buried in the West Coast time slots, but this team always manages to sneak up on me in the Los Angeles Rams. Starting out 3-1, Matthew Stafford, the consummate professional, playing through injury, looking good as always, and Puka Nacua making a case for best wide receiver in the league. Moving up 1 spot this week, at number 3, we have the Detroit Lions. Taking the spot held by the Packers last week, the Lions are thinking to themselves, we didn't have any issues with the Browns defense. Still holding the number 2 spot, we have the Buffalo Bills, sitting at 4-0 and still taking care of business. Maybe not the prettiest win against the Saints, but then tell me who you would put above them other than the team I still have at number 1 in the Philadelphia Eagles. Still the Super Bowl chance, still undefeated, but trouble on the horizon? Stay tuned to find out. And that rounds out my top 10 for this week. As always, you should take my opinions with a grain of salt, because I will be the first one to tell you that I am an idiot. But once again, thank you for joining me. I hope to see you during a live stream this weekend, as well as bringing you more content real soon.